Oh my God. Let me get that beep beep. R. Kelly. Wow. He did. He really did. He really did, Eric.
The man that took your love and made it materialistic by saying you remind me of my Jeep.
That's right, man.
Yep. Yeah, girl. You remind me of my Jeep. That's right.
We give you that toot.
Oh my goodness. What is up, everyone? Podcast number 100 of the Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe that this is number 100 in the books. And wow, I just it's first I want to thank Eric Jackson and B Money, gentlemen. You guys have been a big part of this. I want to thank Mr. Negative too. He's been a big part of helping this channel grow as well, and all the previous co-hosts that we had. My boy Lemieux 66, who I've known Lemieux since like my second day on Xbox Live as a beta tester. So what's that, like 16, 17 years? He was a co-host for a little bit.
Yeah, you should have been here, man, or have like that special appearance.
Yeah, you know what, man? I did reach out to him. It just he just had a baby, so.
Oh man, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the timing and everything just didn't work out. But he's when he gets some free time, he's definitely gonna hop back on the show. We haven't had him on in a long time. So
I remember those days, man. The early days of Brat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So big shout out to him and Mamacita, who was a regular for a little bit, I think, with you, Eric.
Yeah.
Another
early day. Yep.
Yeah, so she used to rock out with Brap for a little bit, and God, all the guests we've had, Worry Word, Southbound. I remember I was in one of the early Brap podcasts. I got dropped. I was the host. I got dropped from the Hangout, and it's just Southbound and Worry, and they're like, "Wait a minute, is Enrique gone?" And they just ran with the podcast for like a good 10 minutes. It was pure gold. It was hilarious.
I remember that show, man. It was hilarious.
Yeah. And got all the industry guests we've had on. David Jaffe. I mean, I still can't believe we had David Jaffe on.
Mm-hmm.
The guy behind Twisted Metal and God of War. Wow. And he was pretty funny. I mean, there was even before we got on, we started broadcasting live. We were just, in the chat room, just laughing, having a good time. So, Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, he was a guest on the show. Great guy. We had a lot of fun talking video games with him and basketball too.
Mm-hmm.
God, who else? Christian Allen, Marcel Hatam, who at the time was with, was it Epic? Epic Games,
Crytek, right?
Crytek. I'm sorry, Crytek.
Yeah.
He's with Crytek, and he's now with Ubisoft. Yeah, and I remember Marcel. He's in Germany, so I think it was like 3 a.m. for him or something, right?
Yeah, man. He's riding out with us.
Yeah, he was riding out with us. So, Greg Cassavan from Super Giant Games was on with us. Eric, you were part of that podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout out to Bella Rise too. Bella was actually a co-host on that podcast, and she's been a guest on this podcast on numerous occasions. So big shout out to her as well. God, who else? I feel like I'm missing out on someone or leaving someone out, but yeah, just big shout out to everyone who's supported us over the last 2 years. And
that's that time we had Kojima on.
Yes, that was at. Yes, I remember him and Beat Money got into a debate.
Yeah, man, that boy Kojima, he weird out there, man. So
yeah, B asked him a straight question. Kojima, why are you so weird?
That's right, man.
Kojima posting pictures of eggs.
We love him though, man. We appreciate everything it brings to the table, man. It keeps everybody on their toes and everybody intrigued. So shout out to Kojima.
Yep. So just So just much love to everyone who's just supported the podcast over the last 2 years and who's those folks who were early co-hosts and the current co-hosts now. Couldn't have done it without you guys. So,
and shout out to the community guests that have jumped in here with us and talked some games.
Yeah, absolutely. Big shout out to all the community guests that we've had on the show over the last 2 years. Everyone with the support, the guests, the co-hosts, we couldn't have done it without you guys. So, looking forward to 100 more episodes of BRAP. So, speaking of the community, big shout out to everyone in the live chat. Jay Fonzarelli's in the live chat.
Jay Fonzarelli.
Hey Jay, what's going on, man? Trying to do my best impersonation. Keep it slow and sexy, Jay. That's right.
Quiet storm.
Yeah, take that, bad boy 9-5. We won't stop. Anyhow, without further ado, speaking of community guests, we have a community guest this evening. We have the Ash and Luca on. Luca, hey. Welcome to BRAP.
Woo, yes. Thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be on. I've been actually waiting for a while. I was like, oh, okay. When's he going to have me? Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Because I remember I first heard you a couple months ago because All Day and Fonz were like, oh, yeah, we're cool with him. He does his own show. I'm like, oh, okay, let me go check him out. And then I turned it on and I was like, oh, I like this guy. Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. We like you too, Luca. We're very happy to finally have you on. Look, I'm a fan of anyone who's a fan of Persona 5. I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yes.
You clearly have great taste in gaming.
Yeah. I just like good games, man.
No, I hear that. And I got to say, Luca, I do enjoy your hot takes with video games and all things gaming community.
Oh, yeah. I have a lot of fun with the people in this community, they're all so great and, rational and completely logical about stuff all the time.
But I love how you keep it real sometimes. I definitely have an appreciation for it, And I think you might be the only one who can get away with it.
Yeah, I think most of it is just because when I joined the community, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I remember my early months, right? Because I came primarily, I gamed on PlayStation, I had just gotten an Xbox, and whenever I would talk about any PlayStation game, I'd get jumped by the Xbox Mafia, and I'd be like, you better cut it out right now, or I'm going to hurt you, and, they learned early on not to bother me about that stuff. And I remember talking to one of my friends about it when I mentioned that. I'm like, oh, I'm going to start playing Persona 5. They're like, oh, don't post about it, Luca. You be careful, okay? I'm like, I want to see someone say something to me about this. And no one said anything. So.
Someone told you to not post that?
Yeah. They're like, oh, come on, Xbox guys, they're going to come after you, Luca. They're going to say something. I'm like, no, they're not. They're not saying anything. And no one said anything, so.
That is okay. That is just wild. I can't even wrap my mind around that. I don't. Yeah. Why would anyone even care? I mean, as long as you join the game, that's all that matters, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. And I've gotten stuff like that, and also stuff like, oh, that girl, she better be careful. She's speaking out against Xbox. Oh, they're gonna come after her. I'm like. Okay, we'll see. We will see if And I really think that a lot of it is just because when I joined the community, I wasn't fanboying and for either side. I was just kind of like, yeah, I really don't care. I like games. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Don't speak your mind because people are gonna come out that just doesn't. I don't know. Aren't we all adults here? It's just video games at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Video games, gaming is supposed to be a place where we can escape from all the bullshit of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've never understood why people bring the bullshit of life into gaming. That's not how it's supposed to be. But just my 2 cents.
Because everybody said it's too serious, man. Everybody got to wear their favorite jersey outside. The Xbox jersey, the PlayStation jersey. They got to walk around with the crazy swag and represent their flag. So
yeah, I just don't personally see the point because it's just they're just consoles and stuff. I mean, I'll be a fangirl for like DC, but other than that, no, not over some consoles.
Ooh, DC as in DC Comics. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I get a lot of stuff for that too.
So. Yeah, I could see that. I could see why you would. But seriously, props for you for liking DC, because I don't come across many comic book fans that are like show like DC love.
Yeah, I just personally I prefer the DC characters to Marvel. I think they're more interesting to me. So.
Yeah, she has to clarify that, because somebody just now, like, their eyes went red, like,
Yeah, you always gotta be careful what you say. If you don't phrase things properly or perfectly, it leaves a lot of room for interpretation and for people to misconstrue what you're saying and come to their own conclusions. So,
hey, by the way, Lady Foxfire says that Marvel's better.
Whatever. We were in my Discord arguing about that earlier today.
See, and here's the thing: is like, we'll throw the neutral thing in there too, because I love them both kind of like equally. Like, I love DC and Marvel for the different things that they do. So yeah, it's like, once again, you got neutral thrown in there.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, man. I like them both too.
Yeah,
I think Marvel has a good cinematic universe, but when it comes to like the animation stuff, DC got that on lock.
Oh, DC has books and animation on lock.
DC's animations are, I will say that, yes, I will agree with you guys. Your animation is top notch, and
Marvel can't touch that on any level.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you look at what was that movie that came out a couple years ago based on the DC graphic novel? God, who are the guys? One of the guys is a blue guy.
Watchmen?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
And you know what, Eric, if you had not said Watchmen, I would have taken it a step further with describing the blue guy in the movie. You know what I mean? The blue guy walks around with his, right. Yeah. So yeah, I mean that graphic novel is fantastic. So yeah, I think I'm kind of like in the middle with you, Eric, like with DC and Marvel, but yeah, definitely DC on the animation stuff. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. So, look, because I gotta say, like, I love the fact that you have great taste in gaming. I mean, you were streaming Dark Souls 3 the other day. I'm like, this is amazing. She likes Dark Souls 3.
Dark Souls is amazing. I can't wait for that remaster. I'm really, really excited.
That remaster is gonna be hot. It's
gonna
be hot. Yeah. What other like games are like? We talked about Persona 5. You're playing that right now. What have been some of your other favorite titles this console gen so far?
The Witcher 3, Bloodborne, Dark Souls 3, Dragon Age Inquisition. I liked Mass Effect Andromeda. I didn't finish it, but I liked it. I'm just a huge RPG fan. I love big, sprawling, in-depth stories, and that's my jam. That's my bread and butter. I love that stuff. And I got into the Souls series this gen as well. And I played Bloodborne, and then I played Dark Souls 3, and I went back to Dark Souls and Dark Souls 2, and then it's just over and over again. It's just, those games are amazing. And I never thought I would ever play like a Souls game, because I remember hearing about it a couple years ago, and I remember I was talking to one of my friends about it, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna play that Dark Souls?" I'm like, "No, I play games to have fun, not make myself miserable."
Yeah, Souls is not for the weary or the light of heart. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's just, you got to have a lot of patience. And how I played through it is like, I knew the games were difficult, so whenever I felt myself getting frustrated, I just took a break, and that's how I was able to get through all the games, except for Demon Souls. I haven't played Demon Souls.
Oh, you gotta go back and play some Demon Souls.
Yeah, it's they need to remake that game or something. It's rough. It's really rough.
Yeah, were there like rumors going around they were gonna remake that game, or is that?
Yeah, there were some rumors about it.
It's a big fan request. A lot of fans want that.
Yeah,
especially now the popularity of the Souls series.
Exactly. Like, I think Bloodborne really did just make it mainstream. A lot of people, they were like, the Bloodborne's awesome. Okay, let's try Dark Souls. Like, I think a lot of it was like that, because I didn't hear too much about Dark Souls or Dark Souls 2 back when it was like, when those games came out. They were still kind of niche, you know what I mean? And after Bloodborne, everyone was like, "Oh, this is awesome. Let's play more games by these devs."
Yeah, it's funny you mention it, because I know a lot of people that went to Bloodborne, played that first, and then were like, "Okay, I'm going to go to Souls," and like discovered Souls for the first time. You know, because the friends that I had that were playing the Soul series when they came out were definitely probably more hardcore gamers than casual, I guess. So that's interesting that Bloodborne kind of had that impact or that effect on people playing it and then going back. God, Luca, that's a strong list of games right there. The Witcher 3, by the way, is phenomenal.
Facts.
Phenomenal. I mean,
very amazing game.
Yes.
Amazing. Probably one of the best games I've ever played. Like, it's amazing. The only thing I would be like, is like the combat. But I went back to The Witcher 2, and then I was comparing the two, and I was like, you know what? Witcher 3 is fine. It's fine.
My God.
Witcher 2
combat is Witcher 2. Rough. Terrible.
Witcher 2 on console is just rough, period.
Right, yeah. Facts.
Yeah, I mean, but like the hitboxes are like non-existent. I mean, it's just terrible combat. Terrible. So when you go from 2 to 3, like, oh, this isn't so bad. Although Mr. Negative would have a difference of opinion. He's actually not a Witcher 3 fan, which I'm surprised considering how good that game is. But
I think he likes everything else, but he just hates the combat in it.
Oh, he says the combat's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. Look, the Witcher 3, it's not like the best combat. It's not Souls. You know, I don't think you can compare everything to Souls. I think it's kind of unfair to do. I think for that game, it works.
Yeah.
Just leave it there. Like, you know, like it's not the best, but it works. It's serviceable combat.
When you compare it to other RPGs, it's pretty similar. You know, it might be slightly better in different areas, but most other RPGs that are big open worlds like that, they don't have amazing combat.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's true. Yeah.
That's not the standout, purpose of the game. So, Witcher 3 does a decent enough,
Yeah, it's okay for me. If a game has a really good story, I can excuse the combat as long as I'm able to get through it. Or if the game has really great combat, I can excuse if there's no good story. Like, I can take either or, as long as there's some element of the game that I like. However, I know Mr. Negative is a Souls fan as well. Ever since I played that series, I have found myself like automatically thinking about Dark Souls combat when I'm playing any other game, just because it's like that combat. Well, for 3 and Bloodborne is so fluid and like it feels so good. It's just kind of like, oh, okay. Because I started playing Monster Hunter, and I know, like, my bro Salty really likes it, and Fonz really likes it, and all those guys really like it. But it's just kind of like this combat is like rough for me. Like, I just like, I'm like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. I mean, I'm gonna try, but yeah.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, the combat in Souls is so fluid, it's almost flawless. And I think a lot of people, I should say a lot of people, I don't generalize, but I've heard people I've talked to who have played Souls, they tend to kind of just go back to Souls and kind of compare combat and other RPGs to Souls.
Yeah.
So maybe that's like a blessing and a curse, but I think that speaks to just how well Souls is as a game, how good it is.
Absolutely. So it's so good, so addicting. Once you get, through the misery and the Stockholm syndrome kicks in, you're in there. You're like, I love this.
Yeah. Jay Fonzarelli in live chat says, I like Bloodborne's combat better. Okay.
It's faster. It does feel different because I had a really hard time with Dark Souls, actually. Like, I know that some people, it varies for them, but going from Bloodborne and then going to Dark Souls, I was like really struggling. I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I was really, really, really unhappy playing the game for like the first 12 hours. And then, like I said, I got through the misery and I was like, this is amazing. Keep torturing me. And, but the combat is like, there's little nuances and differences. The role is different. And some of the buttons for like healing and attacking are different. So,
yeah. Chicken Spaghetti in live chat says, no love for Neo.
Now, I was gonna shout that out. What if Witcher had combat like Neo?
I haven't played Neo.
Neo's pretty
Neo's
good.
combat. Yeah.
How's Neo's combat compared to like? Because like I early on I heard it like being compared to Souls. Is it kind of like a Souls-ish kind of game?
I think you have to approach the enemies, like you would if you're playing Souls. But I think the combat is way faster.
Yeah,
it's varied a little bit different because of the stances. So
yeah, it's like about parrying.
Yeah,
a little bit more so. And I think when it comes to like Witcher 3 combat, I can kind of see what CD Projekt was trying to do. They were trying to give you that feel of like sword, like fluid, like combat to combat sword, parry, take down someone. because you think about like fencing and like real sword fighting or whatever. I know in the movies it's like in Star Wars it's like all this theatrics, like da 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 da. And I think in most sword combat, you watch fencing, it's like trying to get that one move done, get your enemy out of the way to get to the next person. I think that's kind of what they were trying to go.
Yeah, and I read a little bit about the books as well, and they described Geralt's fighting style as like dancing. And when he is fighting, it is like he's dancing because you can go from enemy to enemy like really quickly.
Yeah, so,
so I never knew that.
Yeah, so if you kind of look at it, sort of, it is like it's like block, pull a move, lop someone's head off, get to the next enemy.
Where's Roach?
Get someone off in as few moves as possible is kind of the combat. So, but it has like a little bit of a clunky feel. But I just never had a major problem with it.
I'll tell you what the beauty of The Witcher 3 is how well the side missions, like how good they are. A lot of I think it's like one of the few games where a lot of the side missions for me didn't feel like fetch quests.
Yes, absolutely. Like that game changed my standard. Because let me tell you, I was playing Fallout 4, right? I like Fallout 4 a lot. I went through that game 3 times. I have hundreds of hours in that game, right? I like it a lot. Those quests are trash. Most of them are trash. They're just fetch quests. I hate it. And the DLC for Fallout 4, 3 out of the 5 DLC pieces is absolute garbage trash. I was so angry because I was comparing it to The Witcher 3 because it's like, okay, I had the season pass when it was still $30 for Fallout 4, so it's fine. However, like one of the DLC, 2 hours, trash DLC, right? $15. And then take The Witcher 3, $10 DLC, 10 hours of amazing story that in my opinion is actually better than the main quest story. So I was just like, y'all need to step your game up. Everyone needs to step their game up. This is unacceptable. Like it kind of ruined other games for me.
Sending Games, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, says Bloody Baron is one of the best side quests ever made.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's usually the one that most people refer to when they talk Witcher 3.
Yes, Bloody Baron was phenomenal.
Yeah, that one quest is better than some full games.
Yes.
That's a fact. And that's what like cemented it for me because I was playing through the game. I was like, I don't know. I mean, it's cool, I guess. Let's keep going. And then after that quest was finished, I was like, oh, whoa. And then like with the crones and everything, I was like, this is crazy. This is amazing. This is phenomenal. I was blown away, and I was like, this game is special.
Yeah.
Some games throw quests at you because like as much as I love Final Fantasy 15, after a while, I was like, you know what? If these quests have nothing to do with getting this platinum, I'm out. I was like, I don't have time to pick up apples from the market 15 times.
How many more colorful lizards are you going to go pick up, man?
You know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, fam, get your own groceries.
I didn't really care for the Chocobo quest, for Chocobos. I've never been a big fan of the Chocobos in Final Fantasy. They're just not. I know people love them. Like, oh my god, Chocobos. It's not my thing, though.
Oh my god, Chocobos. That's a t-shirt.
Is it really?
No, I'm saying you could make a
t-shirt. I don't know.
OMG Chocobos.
OMG Chocobos. No, I mean, but I remember like Final Fantasy 15. People were like, oh my god, the Chocobos are in the game. I'm like, oh god. I can live without the Chocobos. They just weird. They just look weird to me, I guess. I don't know. Before we get to the main I want to say the main quest. Before we get to the main quest of the podcast. Huh?
You could look at it like that.
Yeah, we could look at it like that. Before we get to the main topics, there's a couple of newsworthy items I wanted to talk about real quick. We've heard some recent news out of Capcom Vancouver. They're laying off about 30% of the staff there, and they're scaling back on the scope of the next Dead Rising game. They actually had another announced project that was in prototype that they decided to cancel as well. I don't have any thoughts on this. I'm kind of in terms of even a Dead Rising game, I'm not really interested in it. I'm just kind of over that series right now. Do you guys have any thoughts? And I just want to say it always sucks to hear when people lose their jobs. That happened recently at Bartlett Jones Detective Agency, which is David Jaffe's studio. But does anyone have any thoughts on Capcom Vancouver and layoffs and stuff like that?
I feel like the industry, they look out for each other, and I know that there are a couple of devs who've been like, we heard about what happened. Send in your applications. You can come work here. And I think that's really great. I think that's healthy, and it's good to see, because I think a lot of people, especially in our extremely small community, they get so caught up with stuff that doesn't actually matter. And it's nice to see the people that are actually like involved and know what's going on when it comes to this gaming stuff are looking out for each other. It's unfortunate, but Capcom's kind of been floundering for the past couple of years. You know what I mean? So it's not surprising.
Yeah, and that studio, their big games are Dead Rising, and there's a mobile game, I forget the name of it, that studio works on, that they're still going to be doing. So, Eric or B-Money, you guys have any thoughts on this?
I think the biggest issue for a lot of devs and like publishers is just not knowing when to move on. From a franchise. And I think they should have recognized that it's time to move on from Dead Rising. I think the third one was probably good enough. The fourth one came with like low fanfare. They released it exclusively on Microsoft first, and then we waited a year to get it on PlayStation. Nobody cared about that game, to be honest. It was just time to move on. And Capcom needs to realize they need to go back to the well and work on some of their old IPs. A lot of people are really looking forward to it. A lot of stuff that they have. They redid Resident Evil 7 or Resident Evil with Resident Evil 7 last year. Came out, did really well for them. What they've done with Monster Hunter this year is the highest selling Monster Hunter of the franchise. They announced Mega Man 11 last year. Everybody went crazy. So go back to the IPs that people love and work that way. It doesn't make sense to keep trying to go to the well for a franchise that people aren't paying attention to anyway.
Right.
Eric, any thoughts, man?
No, I agree with what Luca and B said in that regard. I mean, right now, Capcom, they seem to be sort of somewhat like riding the ship, and sometimes you have to make these cuts to continue to move in other directions. And it does suck that people lost their jobs, but hopefully it means what they're trying to do is kind of, get all their ducks in a row. And like B said, maybe go into the well. And yeah, but you do have to kind of recognize, when something's just not working out anymore. And when they say Dead Rising 5, I'm kind of like, if that means that they're going to move away from that, I know they said that they're going to be retooling. And I'm like, just leave it alone. You have other franchises that people have been like begging for. And right now you have goodwill. Considering where you were a couple of years ago with Street Fighter 5, and people kind of thought you were done. People were like asking other companies to buy you.
Yep.
You can have a point now where you can dig into like same thing people have been asking Konami for. It's like you have all these story franchises that you're sitting on, but you want to do pachinko and sell bottled water.
Yeah.
Jesus, man.
Just imagine if
E3, legit, they have a bottled water company.
At E3, if they hit us with like a teaser for Dino Crisis, people would like lose their fucking mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and people would turn over tables if
make the Dino Crisis game have Resident Evil Revelations gameplay, and you got a winner.
Yeah, I could see that. Hey, John, you actually are botting a little bit there.
Am I?
Yeah.
I don't care.
John's like, it's on purpose.
Yeah, I was waiting for the pyro intro. The intro, the pyro intro.
I'm playing Shadow of the Colossus. I don't have time for bullshit. Hold on.
He's not gonna play Shadow of the Colossus. Oh, he's coming back. Okay. Yeah, Dino Crisis. I mean, what John said about Dead. What do you say? Dead Rising and Resident Evil Revelations or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he said if they brought back Dino Crisis with Resident Evil Revelations gameplay.
Okay, there you go.
There we go. Yep.
Yeah, you sound much better, man.
Yeah, you're lucky to have me because I'm playing Shadow of the Colossus right now, and I really don't want to podcast, but I also feel bad. So,
and we'll get to Shadow of Colossus here in a sec. But
I was just saying Onimusha. They should definitely be looking at.
Oh yeah,
why not bring Onimusha back?
I love. There were rumors about that a little while ago, but.
And honestly, I'm gonna ask you guys how you feel about this. Do not try to make Onimusha like another Souls or Neo game.
Nah, just keep it classic, man.
I thought Neo was a great Onimusha game.
No, I mean it is, but I'm saying when you're gonna do Onimusha, I mean we have enough of those right now. Like let's, take Onimusha to what it once was, or something different. Like hack and slash. Just something different type of gameplay type.
Yeah, that's a good point, B. I mean, they should get back to some of their other franchises that that I think fans would react very positively to.
Digging the crates, man.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see what else. PUBG's gonna be bundled with the Xbox One S starting February 20th, I believe. So, anyone shocked about that? Surprises? No. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Gotta get that player count up.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do that earlier, but so there's that, and then what else? Oh, GTA 5 has hit 90+ million now.
Which
killing the game, man. It's gonna hit 100 mil, man.
I mean, I would seriously love to go to their holiday party
on the moon.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't understand how that's still selling. I got
a flying yacht, man.
Hey, John, what do you think? Let me get what is selling this game? I mean,
the ability to get a BJ from a hooker and then run over with a car. I mean, that's honestly that's what's selling the game. You can do whatever you want. I personally can't stand the Grand Theft Auto games. I hate them. I cannot stand them. I don't think they're good games. I don't think they have relatable characters. I don't think the humor is funny. And they control like shit. They play like shit. So if you ask me why they're selling, that's why, because you can mow through crowds of pedestrians and beat a hooker up with a baseball bat. That's why they sell, because they let people live out power fantasies.
Yeah, and that GTA Online is just like a juggernaut.
Yep, and you know what? There's nothing wrong. You know what? I can separate violence in a video game from violence in the real world. That's fine. You know, I'm a big boy. I play violent games, but you know, I think I mentioned this on Loot Chest Radio. I love Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite games of all time. But it's one of my favorite games of all time, not because it plays well, because honestly, it doesn't play great. But John Marston is a very, very relatable character. His story of redemption really resonates with a lot of people. And the difference between somebody like John Marston and somebody like Nico Bellic, for example, is that Nico Bellic has a lot of decent character beats in Grand Theft Auto 4, saying, "Oh, you know, I came here from wherever, you know, and I'm trying to make a better life for myself, and I don't want to be involved in crime, but I keep getting drawn back in. It's not a good situation. But this is the only life I know." And then after this moving soliloquy, he goes out. You can take Nico outside and bang a hooker in an alley, beat her up, and run over with your car and take the money back. So, which is completely takes me out of the game. I'm like, well, what the fuck? You just spent 20 minutes telling me what a sad sack sob story you have, you know, and now you're like, oh, and after you do it, you're like, I guess my mother raised me wrong. And I'm like,
I think it's hard for games like that, like where you can do whatever you want, to have a character that's like, oh, I hate this, or, you know, I want to be better. Like that took me out of it for Assassin's Creed 3. I really didn't like Connor very much. He was very...
Oh, Connor was, oh, you know, where's Charles Lee? I just gave him half of his lines in the game.
He was super annoying. And, you know, a game that did it well, I think, was Saints Row 2. Before the game started getting, like, super wacky. The protagonist is a psychopath, like, clear-cut psychopath. Psychopath to the point where I was, like, even watching what they were doing on the screen and knowing I was controlling the character when it came to certain cutscenes, I felt genuinely disturbed and kind of sick. And I've never felt that way playing a game before. I was just kind of like, oh, my character is legit a psychopath. Okay, cool. And it's like, you can go around doing whatever you want in that game. You can murder people. You can sleep with whoever. Like, that's the kind of game it is. And it works for that particular game when your main character doesn't have any feelings, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I completely understand what you're saying, you know, which is why it doesn't work for a character like Nico Bellic, who has redeemable qualities. But then, like I said, you can go and you can murder civilians, and he's like, oh, my mother messed up somewhere, and I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. That doesn't make any sense. But whereas John Marston, you know, like, you can bang whatever hook you want in Grand Theft Auto, but then John Marston, like, you know, like a burlesque woman will approach him and she'll be like, you know, hey, you want to go upstairs? He's like, sorry, I'm a married man. And you're like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, because John Marston's not, you know, he's not going to cheat.
Hey, right on, John Marston.
Yeah, no, yeah. Good for you. Good for you, John Marston. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't mean to derail the conversation. That's kind of how I feel about that.
No, not at all. I mean, it's funny. B Money and I try to get back into GTA online, and you may remember B. As soon as we hopped into a server,
Yeah.
the guy we hear this moped coming down the street. We got blown up by an RPG.
Yep.
That's always how it goes. That's like dating.
Yep. And then wait, we got back into the we got back into the game. Same guy. I guess he did a U-turn.
That's how I used to describe my commute when I was in Iraq. Man, I'll make a right turn, get blown up by an RPG.
Oh Jesus. So yeah, it's just one of those games that's just I'm just blown that it's sold this much, and I can only imagine what Red Dead 2 is going to do.
I mean, it's the reason why Take-Two and Rockstar aren't forced to put out a game every other year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look how they've been riding Grand Theft Auto. They used to release games like every other year, every 2 years, every 2 years. They haven't released a game since Grand Theft Auto 5.
Why would they? They don't need to.
They don't.
That scream of terror you heard a few days ago was every developer and publisher releasing a game anywhere in the month of October.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Do not release your game.
Crazy. You'd be crazy to put a game. Red Dead Redemption 2 is probably the one game that doesn't need to worry about Call of Duty. They don't need to worry about Call of Duty.
No.
Yeah.
And you got to think about the resources they have now, and the amount of money they're putting into Red Dead Redemption 2, which leads me to the first topic of the evening: the rumored Battle Royale mode, Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but
Start it up.
Apparently, I mean, look, I mean, I think we've talked about this on the podcast before. I mean, the industry tends to, whatever trend is hot, whatever's the hottest thing going, we tend to get a lot of copycats or, games that mimic or build upon, formulas that have worked for other games. And Matt Pascatella mentioned that 2 weeks ago on Brap that, hey, probably later on the year or E3, we're going to see a lot of games incorporate that Battle Royale mode. There's the, I think in the EA investors call, they mentioned that they might include a Battle Royale mode in the next Battlefield. So
yeah, that Zelda Battle Royale is going to be lit.
Link dropping from a plane.
Just a bunch of. I'm wondering how this is going to work in Red Dead Redemption 2, right? Like what is it, like a fucking stagecoach attached to a hot air balloon? Just flying right in. Like I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand how.
Yeah, I mean, you can have flying machines.
Yeah, well, maybe you have the Wright brothers. Maybe they come and fly in those paper airplanes.
The Wright brothers didn't even exist. That doesn't make sense.
I'm just throwing ideas out there.
Maybe what it is, they just have like high mountains that everyone like runs down from.
Maybe they shouldn't just do. Maybe they just shouldn't do a Battle Royale mode because it's fucking stupid. That's a Red Dead Redemption game. Like,
hey,
there is that.
Sam in the live chat says 100 Cowboys wake up with hangovers. I'm wondering like how are they going to do this? Like you can't clearly planes in existence, and you're not going to be parachuting.
Just you know what? Make it tongue in cheek. Make it what was the Undead Nightmare? Remember Undead Nightmare? Make it tongue in cheek. Let's just have like 100 cowboys walking on a battlefield and say like, think we should do some of that shooting, Mert? All right, and then just I don't know.
Have at it.
Yeah, just do it. Like, yeah, why not? There's 99 other cowboys here. Your job is to kill every one of them. Why? Don't ask too many questions, boy. Like, just do something stupid like that.
Yeah,
it doesn't need to make sense. It's I mean, it's yeah. But then again, like, I mean, does anybody actually think that? Actually, no. I know. I take that back. It's Rockstar. It'll probably be huge. So. Everything you got to think to fucking solid gold. So
yeah, you got to think like okay, so you got to imagine like Rockstar. It's going to be huge, they're going to put a lot of money into that game. And can you imagine like what a battle royale mode is going to look like? It's not, it's going to run well. It's going to have, it's not going to have the issues that PUBG has. But again, I can't wrap my mind around like how they're going to do this with cowboys and I don't know.
Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah, Luca, do you have
Cowboys and Indians?
Well, I just think everyone's riding that PUBG train. All these devs are like, let me try and get some of that money. Let me try and get some of these sales. So
Now,
I'm not surprised that they're doing it.
Luca, what about that Dark Souls Battle Royale?
Wait a second.
just like 100 motherfuckers rolling everywhere.
Bunch of periods.
I've got that mental picture in my head now, and it's never going away ever.
Disaster incoming.
That would be. Now I want it. I was joking, but now I want it.
Clanking armor sound just everywhere.
Clank, clank.
Just a bunch of just like 100 people doing gestures at each other.
All right, so okay, yeah, like you said, if Rockstar announces that they want to do like, a battle royale, I mean, you have to kind of think that Bluehole took notice of that, right?
Well, the Bluehole did.
You would think so. You would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, they got to take notice to even Fortnite. You know what I mean? Fortnite is taking a lot of their.
I wish Bluehole would take notice to fixing their game. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I mean,
it's in preview.
Yeah, whatever. It's like I hate that excuse.
Look, I'm in preview.
They're like selling it for $30, and it's a broken mess. They have all this money, 30 million sales, and this two maps on PC. I'm like,
I have a decent computer. I have a decent computer. It's more powerful than my PS4 Pro, and I cannot get it to run PUBG more than 30 frames a second. I can't do it. The game just doesn't fucking work for me. And that's that. So
what's the number on that now between PC and Xbox? Like
34 million
fucking number, yeah.
Let's do some math. 30 ridiculous fucking numbers by $30 a pop.
And look, I understand that PUBG is probably a more compelling experience than Fortnite. Now I've played plenty of Fortnite, and it's fine. But at the same time, like, it's the same basic concept. It's it's a battle royale mode. There's 100 people on a map, and you got to kill each other. The map is continually getting smaller, and wow. And
it's a real life battle royale right now.
I know, right? but I just I've never understood the success of any of these battle royale games. At least not the massive huge success, because I mean they're fine, but I can't play them for more than an hour before I'm like, all right, it's time to play something else.
Well, I think we talked about this a couple weeks ago. I think they're popular because they're easy to just pick up and play. Like, it's not a game like PUBG isn't a game where if you're not playing for 2 weeks, everyone's kind of level up their characters. Yeah. You missed out. I had not played PUBG for probably about 2 weeks. Hopped on this week, played some with Sam a little bit the other day, and some of the other guys that I've been playing with more recently, and just had a blast. And I really hadn't missed out on anything. I didn't come in feeling like, oh my God, I'm going to get, I'm going to get destroyed because my character class doesn't have, a scope, or I haven't leveled them up, or whatever the case is. So I think that's really the appeal of those games, and probably why they appeal to, casuals, and why they're so popular. But Luca, real quick, I do want to get your take on the whole argument of it's in preview, because I heard you say something about it, but we all kind of jumped in.
Yeah, I don't like that argument. Like, they're still selling the game. I know people are like, well, people know what they're getting into, but what about all those people who are going to pick up an Xbox and they don't know that, it's in preview? They, there's casuals who are like, oh, I want an Xbox. Let me pick. Oh, it comes with this game. Okay, cool. Let me pop it in. Oh, why am I rubber banding all over the map? What's going on? Like, this is really weird.
Why does this game look like shit?
Why does this game look so awful? Why would they give me this shitty game? I don't understand. I'm like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Especially all these people about to grab one on the S.
And then there was a bunch of people, right? Like, when it was nominated for Game of the Year, who were like, oh my God, like, this is fine. Like, the game it's sold so much. And I'm like, okay, but like, you guys were arguing last week that no one should be saying anything about it not working because it's in preview. The game's not even fully released, yet it gets nominated for Game of the Year. Oh, okay.
I didn't understand that one myself. I was one of the people, I didn't make a stink about it, but I was like, it's Game of the Year. All right, whatever. Like, I don't know.
I got a lot of people like complaining to me about it. Like, well, Luca, it sold really well. I'm like, but it's not it's not out of preview. It's not even a full game. But yeah, Luca, but like, it sold really well. So
Yeah,
I love that voice you do. It's sold really well. Yeah, yes, it's sold well, which leads me to that question that I have. Why is the game still rubber banding? Like, I'm in a match this week and it's rubber banding. There's lag. It just
not Enrique. You know what else PUBG has done that I think is negative is it has introduced the gaming community to a lot of who I would call just piece of shit personalities, like Dr. Disrespect, for example. I don't care if anybody in chat says, "Oh, Dr. Disrespect, he's fun to watch." No, he's a he's a racist prick who cheated on his wife. And just the other day when he came back, he made a big deal about he's coming. I'm back and I'm better than ever, you know. And he broke fucking Twitch with how many views he had, and he made what it was like $20,000 in an hour. People were donating over $1,000 to this man.
What's his claim to fame?
He's an asshole who's good at PUBG, and he makes fun of Chinese people. He says shit like what PewDiePie said. You know, when he said the N-word, it wasn't racist. It was just
God.
So I don't want that's and this man won Training Gamer at the Game Awards over people like Steven Spahn, who is a friend of mine. He's the CEO of Able Gamers. He's a disabled individual. He spends his life in a wheelchair, and he has done more to help not just disabled gamers, but gamers than Dr. Disrespect could ever hope to possibly fucking fathom. So, yeah, just one more thing that PUBG has done in quotation marks for the industry.
Yeah. So, what are your feelings on the whole battle royale trend right now that we're going to see? I mean, this is definitely going to pop up more. Are you guys excited to see more games incorporate battle royale mode, or are you kind of like, you know what, you'd rather not see it in games like maybe like a Call of Duty, or we've heard Halo 6 maybe having something like that.
I'm indifferent before it started, man.
Yeah,
like, I care less, to be honest. Wasn't hyped on PUBG. Don't care about Fortnite.
Yeah, I played PUBG.
Give me better games
for like 30 minutes, and I was like, I really just can't do this. But okay.
I mean, it's fun. Like when you play with a group of people, it's fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, Enrique. I'm sure it is.
Yeah, he keeps trying to convince me to be like, "Yeah, I get it here." I'm like, I don't know. I already told you now, like if I win a copy, that's one thing, or something to that effect. But I'm just, I'm not really. It doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah.
I'd rather play like Monster Hunter World or something like that.
So I want to address something somebody in chat said real quick. Relevant Native says that's kind of a shitty perspective to have, in my opinion. Can't blame the devs of the game itself for shitty people playing them. When they promote this man endlessly, yes, you can blame them, and they do.
Who's promoting him? The Bluehole is?
Yes, because he is a huge he's a money pit for them. He's a huge. He broke Twitch. Mm-hmm. He broke Twitch. He had so many people watching him. He broke Twitch. He is watched by hundreds of thousands of people, and they promote him on their. Go look at their Twitch streams. They tweet out the links to his fucking streams of PUBG. So don't anybody sit here and tell me, oh, we can't blame the devs. You absolutely fucking can blame the devs. You should.
Yeah, and I would like to add to that. Like, I don't know who this guy is. However, it's kind of like Bluehole has all of this money, and the game still runs like trash.
Yeah.
Literally, they robbed all of you. Like, I got the game for free, so whatever. Yep. But, I mean, clearly, there's some scummy tendencies there. So the fact that they're promoting the dude, not a surprise, They didn't condemn PewDiePie for what he said. They didn't say anything at all, actually. So it's just kind of like, okay, you just got to be mindful of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Enrique, you said something similar to me one day. You said, like they're making $30, even if it's preview, times out with however many million copies. So they're still making dough. So why are they still in this situation with but at the time, like one map, the game still runs like whatever, it's like you're getting the resources to start building the team.
And you got to believe there's going to be another game. I mean, I'm telling you, this is going to happen where like a big developer like EA, I mean, think about we all know about the unlimited resources EA has, and if they put a battle royale mode in Battlefield, I mean, just think about how good that game is going to look, how good it's going to run, and then you incorporate in that game some of the things that have made PUBG successful, and then you build upon that. That's something that if I'm Bluehole, I'm thinking about, wait a minute, I got all this money. I want to make my game needs to be relevant and has legs. I need to fix these things because I'm going to have some competitors come out. They're going to do what I initially started doing, but do it better. Or you know what? They may even say the hell with it. They may be like, you know what? Fuck it. We made our money. Like you said, Luca, like they made their $30, and they're out.
They robbed all of you guys. I'm just saying.
Is there any guarantee?
Because they never. It doesn't seem like they have a timeline to when the game is actually going to be complete. You know what I mean? There's no roadmap to say, all right, and the next 18 months, 24 months, or whatever the case may be, this game got a preview. It's going to be complete. This is the feature set that we're working on. This is the maps you should expect. This is the game mode you should expect. There's none of that. You know what I mean? It's just like, we'll give you an update. We'll patch it. And, just keep playing. Keep giving us our $30 and we'll keep doing these things for you. But there's no end roadmap. And if more and more big developers are going to start bringing this out, then your game's going to become irrelevant. So then what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, it almost sounds like they're working on another project, their next project right now. So,
that's nice. They should fix their current game before working on something else. Like
that was exactly.
What the heck, man?
But look, they made money. I mean, think about it. If we do the math. I mean, they made a lot of money. They're not a big studio.
They made almost $1 billion. That's what I said when we were talking about it before, and we're talking about Microsoft buying them. I'm like, it's $1 billion franchise now.
It's a PC mod off a PC mod too.
The next game's gonna go to preview.
That's the crazy part. Yeah.
The next game will be in preview for $30.
Yeah. Hey, really quick. Speaking of mods and everything, what do you guys think of DayZ coming to Xbox in preview program?
It'll die.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't see it having legs either.
Nope. Yeah, it's dead. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, but
and PUBG. I mean, Battle Royale is the new thing now. So I mean, another zombie survival game. Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna. No.
But DayZ, hasn't that game been in early access?
It's not even really a game. It's an Arma mod.
Is that what it is?
Well, I mean, that's how it started. And it's a game now, but I mean, it's whatever. I think it'll have a small audience, but I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, I don't think it's gonna do anything meaningful.
And Relative Native in the live chat says, if this trend continues, they close beta, we'll get Game of the Year. Oh my god!
Fucking bullshit. But he's not. I mean,
he's not off base.
Yeah. Would that be? What kind of precedent would that say?
Sea of Thieves, Game of the Year. What?
I don't know. I honestly think they should be a little concerned. I mean, like you just said, the companies with the big resources that are not going to mess around with this will come in and outdo them in what they do. But like you said, they may not care. And there's no guarantee that they. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Is there a guarantee that they have to finish this game in preview?
Not that I'm aware of. I don't think I'm.
Stop making the excuse of it's in preview and demand that demand more. They got your $30.
Like they're never listen. They are cruising on people accepting the fact that this is in preview and just giving them their money. They have no incentive to fix anything when people are willingly buying a broken game. No matter how much fun it is, it doesn't change the fact that the game is broken, and they're not doing anything about it.
And at this rate, they probably won't.
It's
like Comcast. Yeah. It's like Comcast. Comcast has a monopoly, right? The reason Comcast doesn't. The reason Comcast doesn't do anything about consumer complaints is because they know they don't have to, and it's the same thing with Bluehole. Why would they? People are going to come buy it. It's the same reason that microtransactions are never going away, because companies like EA know that they can put them in whatever game they want, and people will buy them.
Yeah, there's a market for it. Yeah. Yep. Hey guys, real quick. I don't mean to interrupt you, John. I just want to get to this point real quick before I forget, but. Jay Fonz really initially brought this up. Jay thinks that social driven games is kind of ruining gaming, and Relative Native follow-ups with social driven games are slowly destroying innovation and true gameplay mechanics. What do you guys think about those statements?
I think that any game can be fun if you're playing it with friends, and it doesn't actually have to be mind blowing or interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's plausible, you know. I haven't played Sea of Thieves yet. I'll try it when it comes out and whatever, but I have zero interest in that game.
Yeah, we catch hell for saying.
Oh yeah, I got. I've been crucified in many podcast chats. Like, Luca doesn't know anything. Luca's just an idiot. Why is Luca even here? She doesn't like. She doesn't like. What is it? What is that game called? Oh yeah, she doesn't like Sea of Thieves. So clearly she's an idiot and she doesn't actually play games.
You're a traitor, Luca. You're a traitor.
Yeah, I'm like. Okay, I don't like. I like my games to have a story, but okay.
She likes Persona 5.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly. And I'm just like, okay, well, you know, like I said, people can play whatever they want. If they want to play that game and have a good time with it, fine, whatever. But I like my games to have a story. And I like to play games where I know I can play it by myself and have a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my thing too. Is like a game that I like, there's nothing that you can say that's gonna make, like sway me on that. So I don't understand why you need me to pick what you like. Like, why do you need it so bad? Like, you can't say anything negative about it. I need you to like this.
I need you guys to get on Sea of Thieves with me, and so we can plunder the seas and drink rum together.
We can do that for real. Come to Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah. Hey, Eric's got a yacht. You know, he's got a yacht in Fort Lauderdale. We can just hop on his yacht, drink some.
Or a yacht.
The only way I will play Sea of Thieves with you is if we talk like pirates the entire time.
Oh, absolutely. Well, gar.
I'll make a barter with you, Enrique. Who is the North Star?
Hey, dodgeball.
Parlay.
I just want to yeah. Parlay. I just want to talk like Jack Sparrow the whole time.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Parlay. I'm sorry.
Down to the abyss. Whatever man originally thought a parlay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh yeah. Jay Fonz really says, and get sick, Enrique. Yes, I actually did get sick, by the way. Motion sickness, slight motion sickness from playing Sea of Thieves. That's a real thing, by the way.
No, that's bias. That's bias, man.
No, that's a real thing. It happened to me. I think it happened to one of the mats on STGC, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure actually. We don't. I don't really care about Sea of Thieves. So whenever the Sea of Thieves talk starts, I'm like, cool. I'm tuning out.
I'm just gonna
as long as this lasts. So.
All right. Let's get to another game that I'm really excited. I'm probably excited is not even the right word. I caught like feelings a little bit when I turned it on and fired up the old PS4 and put it in. That didn't sound right. So I got a little emotional because this brings back some memories for me as a gamer back to the days of the PlayStation 2. Shadow of the Colossus.
Oh, I'm playing it right now
for PS4. John's playing it right now. Luke, you haven't played this game yet. Have you looked at any gameplay footage or watched any streams of the game?
No, I'm not really interested in it, but I know the general consensus of the game. And I'm happy that people are enjoying it. Like, people seem to really love it. And that's great. Like, I don't see... Because, you know, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been a couple people complaining about this game doing so well. And
yes.
Why would anyone complain about a video game doing well? It's great for the industry.
Because you know, they're just kind of like,
am I missing something?
This game's doing well, but this other game, completely different game, didn't do well, and it's also a remaster. Even though Shadow of the Colossus is a remake, but okay. I'm just like, okay, like as someone who doesn't care about the game at all, I just like, I really can't imagine wasting my time sending out tweets talking about how the game is doing well, yet an Xbox game isn't. I don't
because
really
people need their biases validated. I've said it before and I'll say it again. You know, that's why. Here's the thing: the people saying this are people who have absolutely no intention of playing the game at all and never will. And that's fine. Shadow of the Colossus is not for everybody, but I am so glad. I first played this game in 2005 when I was in the U.S. Marine Corps. I was in my barracks and I played it on my PS2 on my shitty CRT television, and the sense of wonder that I got from this game back then was just, I was in awe of what I was seeing on the screen. I was not aware that a PS2 could make me, or could just fill my screen with the sense of epicness and scale that this game portrays.
Sorcery.
And honestly, I'm surprised that PS2 didn't blow up trying to run this game. But playing it now, and here's the thing: the game sold like crap. It sold like ass on PS2, and it deserved so much more than what it got. And now, this was the last game I would imagine would get a second chance.
Mm-hmm.
And like when this was announced last year, or was it E3? I was fucking mind blown. I was like, no. I was like, Shadow, no, what? And because it is, without equivocation, one of the greatest games of all time. The game is a masterclass in both, visual storytelling and epic scope, and to see it flourish, like, because apparently it is selling very well. So somebody said there's no market for this game. Some asshole, and I won't get into specifics, but some asshole said that, there's no market for this game at all. Well, I beg to fucking differ, because right now it's the top selling game on Amazon, and I am so happy that there is a whole new generation being exposed to this game. It's finally getting the recognition it deserves, and I'm telling you right now, the PS4 is finally letting people play this game with the visuals and sense of majesty that it deserves. I'm just in awe of what Blue Point has been able to do. I'll end on this, Luca. I totally respect that this is not just doesn't interest you. I would recommend you at least maybe borrow it from a friend and try it, because it has one thing in common with Dark Souls, and I know you're a huge Dark Souls fan like I am. There's one thing in common with Dark Souls that I think it will be appealing to you. It's that sense of incredible melancholy, and that sense that something very bad happened here, and I want to find out what it was. You know what I mean? When you first set out like into Lordran, into the Undead Burg in Dark Souls, you're like, something, I don't know what happened here, but it was really fucking bad. and I'm dying to find out what happened. It's this, you get that same sense when you step out of the temple into the world of Shadow of the Colossus. The world is inhabited by a disembodied voice telling you where to go and what to do, and the 16 colossi, and that's it. Everything else is just dead quiet. How in the movies they'll say it's too quiet. That's what it is, and there's a story behind it. I'm not going to ruin what it is, but oh, what a game! I could talk for. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. I could talk for fucking hours about how much I love this game.
Yeah, and it's good that you're so passionate about it. I love hearing people just express how much a game means to them. You know what I mean? And I'm willing to give pretty much any game a shot. Take Persona 5, for instance. I remember when it was first announced, I was like, what is this? I have no interest in this. This looks silly, right? Yeah. And then I kept hearing good things about it, and I'm like, okay, this is like universally praised. Let me give this game a shot. So I gave it a shot. I love Persona. I love it. And the same thing happened with The Witcher 3. It was universally praised. I knew nothing about it. I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I love it. Destiny 2 is trash. It's trash right now. However, I had zero interest in Destiny, but I gave it a shot, So I'm willing to try things, especially if it's like people who love gaming that much and have a lot of like energy and respect for the game that they're talking about. If they say, hey, I think you should give this game a shot. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
Shadow of the Colossus exemplifies what I love about video games. It is a world unlike something I could have dreamed up myself. I could never have dreamed what Ueda did when he created the world of Shadow of the Colossus and the story behind it. Video games are a place where we can escape, and they're supposed to be, not just shooty bangs, not just Call of Duty, and but worlds, living, breathing worlds with characters we can empathize with, and stories that not just make us happy, but make us sad, make us think, make us think about our humanity and what it means to be alive, and what, I don't know, the why and the how as to why we make the choices we do. And Shadow of the Colossus just exemplifies all of that for me, which is why it will always have a special place in my heart.
Facts. I just want to say that the physics in that game, what they were able to accomplish, and Eric, we talked about this before we went live. I was on the back of a Colossi, and he was, jerking me around, and he literally flung me off his leg. I went flying in this, like, up in the air, and my body was rolling. And just like that, like seeing that and seeing how real that looked was like a wow moment for me. And like, I don't want to. I'll share my thoughts on the game, but because I want to get B, your thoughts, and Eric, your thoughts on the game. But wait, B, did you pick up the game yet, or are you holding off?
No, I picked it up.
You did? Okay. Have you played it?
No, I haven't got a chance to play it yet. I'm actually trying to get my quests completed for the Watcher and Monster Hunter World for PS4.
Okay.
For the Palico. So I'm trying to get that knocked out, and because today's the last day before it goes off.
Gotcha.
I'll jump into it this weekend for sure, though.
Yeah. All right. Eric, what have you? I think you got it yesterday.
Yeah.
Have you played it?
Yeah. I only took down the first Colossus so far, and haven't not played this game since like 2005. I dabbled a little bit with the PS3 version of it, but never got back that far into it again. But not really playing it over these years. Like, it instantly kind of took me back, but just marveling at what Blue Point has done. Just like remaking this game. And it was already beautiful back in the day, but now it seems like you want to talk about like definitive editions of something. And I think that's what they've laid out here. And it's a remarkable game in the fact that there's minimal dialogue. But you connect with this world, and then you feel for these things, and you kind of, like being older now and kind of, going through things, you kind of look at it in a different light than where you were at that point when you played it those years ago, It's
a great point, man. It's a great point. Yeah. And Blue Point, again, has done just a phenomenal job with this game.
Dude, they are masters of remakes and remasters to begin with. Like, I mean, these guys are. I mean, can you imagine if they developed their own game?
And we've talked about this, on the podcast. Like, imagine if they had their own game. And actually, they're working on another classic apparently.
I mean, oh god, like I just killed my 7th Colossus, right? And I mean, I hate having the volume turned down because when you are on these things and they're roaring and trying to shake you off, and you're just holding on to that fur for dear life. Oh, like there are a few things in gaming, in my opinion, to match this.
Yeah, and then the emotion and like kind of the thrill of like trying to stay on, and then you have to deal with the stamina bar. You have to deal with that too, or else you fall off or whatever, and I'm sorry, John, go ahead, man.
Well, I want to address something again in chat. Justin Lewis has, I don't know, it seems like he's got a big problem with remakes. He says, Shadow, 10 years of no innovation in the gaming industry, The Reckoning Part 6. Just don't buy it.
Plain and simple.
Nobody's putting a gun to your head and forcing you to buy it. Don't buy it. That's why I never It's like people complaining about Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Wii U or Dark Souls being remastered. I want these fucking games back. I'll pay. I am part of the crowd asking for them. When I found out Shadow of the Colossus was being remade, I fucking was over the moon. This is one of the greatest games of all time. But you know what? Whether it's a remake or a remaster, if you don't want it, don't fucking buy it. Spend your money on something else. The fact that this game exists does not hurt you. It in any meaningful way. Just don't buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I kind of look at it as game preservation.
Which clearly people want. I mean, we have things like backwards compatibility. Yeah. I mean, it's Yeah,
and I mean, and again, people got to look at the difference too, man, between something being backwards compatible, something being remastered or remade, whatever the case may be. Backwards compatibility is a great service. It's definitely there, and again, I appreciate the fact that it's game preservation. But those kind of, in some ways, outside of the OG stuff that we just got on the Xbox side, a lot of the 360 games still look pretty good. So they don't necessarily warrant having to have, remasters or remakes being done. But certain games that have been trapped on a particular platform that you really, you may not be able to access anymore, And you have the kind of thing too with the PS4 and the Xbox One. You have a whole new generation of gamers that this is like their first console, and a lot of them had no idea. They had no idea of the PS2 versions of certain games or the OG Xbox version of certain games, or whatever the case may be. And then there's just certain games that kind of warrant going back and revisiting. I mean, and redoing. I think that's why you get like the Halo Master Chief Collection. You know. And now you have those games like for future generations, and they're at their best. And people can, knock off the nonsense. We live in a world where all people talk about is resolution, but yet people bitch when they say something's being remade and made better, to look better, to perform better.
Honestly, like I think the other part of this conversation is what other games should, because now I want remakes. Like if you can do an old PS2 game and do it up like this. Mm-hmm. Remake everything under the fucking sun. Do it. I'll help you pay for it. Right. Like I'll come over to your house and help you make it. Like fucking, if this is the result, then do it. Like start bringing back old franchises, old games that didn't get a fair shake, like Legacy of Kain.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say
Legacy of Kain. Because you know what? People could say, "Oh, John, remakes are dumb." You know what? There are very few games today that have not only the acting but the writing that those games had.
Yeah.
Like the writing in the Legacy of Kain games was phenomenal. I mean, Kain was one of my favorite gaming characters. Period. Kain was just badass. And I remember there was a scene. It was on PS2. It was Legacy of Kain Defiance, where he was facing down Mobius. And Kain walks in the room, and Mobius pulls out a weapon, and Kain says, "Yeah, let's continue our conversation from before, but on a somewhat different footing." Grabs him by the throat, breaks his weapon, and then and Mobius says, I know what you're thinking." And then Kain cuts him off. He's like, "You dare to imagine what I think?" And I was just like, this writing is so fucking good. It's so good. I remake. There are so many good games that deserve the remake treatment, guys.
No, I agree. I mean, we talked about some Capcom going back to their treasure chest of games that we love to see them remake. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of good stuff to go back to. Mm-hmm. Which I would not be against it at all.
And I kind of want to add on to what John's saying. Like, okay, we can make the argument that earlier in the gen there were like remasters of games that just came out, and it was like you just put a little polish on it, put it back out there, and resold it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm seeing people kind of throwing like this particular game into that same realm. It's like this is not even near what some of those early games that were remastered are.
I mean, Eric, dude, what about the OG Tomb Raider with the double pistols and the fucking Tyrannosaurus Rex? Like remake that, remake that, just like Shadow of the Colossus.
Like remake Metal Gear Solid.
Yep, give me back OG Metal Gear Solid. Give me the Getaway. Give me the driver. Like
driver, yeah.
Siphon filter. Oh my goodness, man.
Siphon filter. Dude, fucking. I mean, shit. They're remaking Final Fantasy VII.
Yes, the best Final Fantasy ever.
No, it's not.
But what John was saying, there's a company out there a company like Bluepoint that can do this. And again, I'm almost sure the people that are saying this have not looked at what the game looks like, whether on the Pro or the PS4 Slim, to see like what they did to it.
Oh yeah, I mean
the original version.
If you play the PS, you can play the PS2 version even on PS3. You can play the HD version, right? And then play it next to the PS4 version, and this is freaking amazing. Like I'm playing it right now, and it's like, God, how did you do this?
Right.
How did you do this?
It's sorcery. I'm telling you.
The only thing that can make this happen is Jesus or voodoo.
That physics in that game on the PS2 it's sorcery. It is pure sorcery.
But I mean, yeah, like that's I guess that's the next big part of the conversation, right? Is okay, well, Bluehole or Blue. Jesus Christ, why do they have to be named so similar?
Not Bluehole,
Fuck, Jesus.
Bluehole.
But yeah, but I mean, what game are they making? I mean,
Ico.
That was my guess. Honestly, I think it's Ico.
Finish the trilogy.
So Ryan Landez in chat, I think I'm pronouncing that right. He wants to know, did they change the controls? Yes, they did. The controls in Shadow of the Colossus were infuriating on PS2. They were not good. Like I'm fully you know, I firmly believe that in life and just as in games, we have to be able to criticize the things we love, right? And as much as I love Shadow of the Colossus, like the controls on PS2 were like they were bad. They were bad. It was like, I mean, that fuck. And what's been like, and like people complain about the horse on the PS2, right? You guys will love this actually.
Where's
people complain, you know, people complain about the horse and they're like, oh, like, you know, the horse controls like shit, and it did. And their explanation was, well, sometimes horses in life just don't do what you want them to do.
Yeah,
I'm like, come on, like you don't need to pretend that hard for me, okay? Like just tell me that the horse controls like shit.
No, but I think I actually think the developer said that. I think Ueda said that in real life horses don't always listen to your commands, so they use that as inspiration or something.
Well, they were a little too inspired because Aggro did whatever the fuck he wanted. Like he was worse than a roach.
I was gonna say I don't think horse controls have come that far.
Roach is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Roach be on top of a roof, just randomly hanging out.
And the horses in Breath of the Wild ain't much better either.
Oh no!
Oh no, man!
If we're gonna start trash talking Breath of the Wild, I'm gonna have to dip. So
no, I'm not trash. No, I'm not trash talking Breath.
So B Money,
I'm actually Breath of the Wild right now.
B Money, what do you think they're working on, man?
I mean, Ico is definitely a good possibility. You know what I mean? Just to wrap up the trilogy, like E said.
Yeah.
You know, but I would love to see him just work on something else, man. Just bring us back a story franchise, even if it's, you know, not something that is, you know, PlayStation exclusive. You know what I mean? If they did like a SOCOM or if they did like a Splinter Cell, or you know what I mean, go back to some of those older games and that were on some of the early gens and just bring it back as a multi-console thing. Like they could kill a game, man. A lot of people missed out on those games, and back, you know, Megadeth was just talking about controls. Like backwards compatibility doesn't always fix controls. You know what I mean? A lot of games need to be remade so that they feel and play like a game of today. You know what I mean? Everybody can't go back and play like a game from BC and have a great experience. You know what I mean? So sometimes you have to remake the game and put it in its best light. So they could be working on anything. The Getaway is probably my top one. SOCOM, Driver, so, you know what I mean? Games like that you know, were pretty amazing games that kind of, you know, got glossed over for its time, and today's generation probably doesn't have any idea, you know, why they're so great. So I don't know. I'm excited for whatever they're working on though, because they've done great work.
Yeah,
they really have.
Yeah, they definitely have. Luca, any thoughts on what they might be working on, or what you might want to see them work on in terms of a remaster, remake?
Oh yeah, no clue.
Any particular franchise you might want to see them bring back?
I mean, I'm too young to know what any of these games are, sir.
Fair enough.
She just called you sir.
That's exactly why. You know what I mean? Like some of the older games need to be brought back because, you know, what I was talking about like earlier, you know, last year where, you know what I mean, people of this gen, or, you know, if they just started gaming like last gen, have no idea, you know what I mean, why the original Metal Gear was so amazing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that you know, I was gonna say, you know, that you know, Luca actually just really, I mean, this is why I feel like this is so important, right? Like I was streaming this last night, right? I was streaming Shadow of the Colossus on our channel last night, and you know, a couple of people came in, you know, they were watching. Sam Tolbert, you know, he's a young guy. He never played the original. He was way too young, and he's playing it now. And he said by the time he hit the third Colossus, his jaw was on the floor. And that right there, and the fact that you know people like Luca have not played these games, and she, you know, Luca doesn't necessarily need to play Shadow of the Colossus, even though I recommend trying it. But just more old games like this that deserve another chance at life for a whole new generation. You know, like that's really why I think this is important.
Yep, I definitely agree.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. Eric, any additional thoughts, man?
Yeah, I just want to say I wish people would stop saying, "Well, so and so doesn't charge me for playing an old game." It's like, yeah, somebody's getting charged because not everybody has those games laying around.
That's right, man.
Again,
not everybody had Call of Duty when it shot up on Amazon, so somebody's buying it.
Yeah, and apparently not a lot of people had Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah, exactly.
So let's stop that. Knock that off.
Oh my goodness!
I know they won't, but hey,
Here's another one that I know Luca's probably not played, but Parasite Eve.
Ooh!
Oh my goodness!
Can you imagine Parasite Eve with like I said earlier, with like a Resident Evil Revelations gameplay?
Oh
I've actually never played Parasite Eve.
Oh,
I haven't played it. No, I've never played it. Hey, you know what? I've played.
You're a fake gamer. You're a fraud.
You know what? I never played. I actually have it on the Vita, but I actually never played it. Vagrant Story.
Oh, you never played Vagrant? What the fuck is wrong?
You never played Vagrant Story? I played Vagrant Story. Hell, I've even played Suikoden.
Wait.
Everybody shut the fuck up. Who just said they never played Suikoden?
No, I said I've played it. I said
okay. I was about to.
No,
I know where you live, man. I don't live far from you. We don't have a problem.
No, I've actually played. I've only played the first and the third one. The third one's the last. The third one, the PS2 is the one.
Okay, so of course you never played Suikoden 2, the best one. Of course not. Okay.
No, I didn't play 2.
Yeah,
I played 1 and 3.
Of course you haven't.
Yeah, too many games, man. Too many games at the time.
Oh, you're fucking bullshit, Enrique.
What else? You know what? It's speaking of, all joking aside, speaking of remakes or our friendly banter going back and forth about which Final Fantasy is the best one. I'd love to see 6.
Hey, hold on. First, you get me talking about which Final Fantasy is the best one, and the conversation will not be friendly long.
No, but seriously, I would love to see 6. I mean, you think of Kefka.
Do not touch a fucking. You cannot improve upon perfection. Do not fucking touch. Besides, they already tried that with the mobile and PC, and it's oh god, it's so fucking ugly. No.
Oh, is it really?
Do not touch my beloved Final Fantasy VI. Hands off. I'm not gonna fucking let it happen. You can remake 7 all you want, but not 6.
Yeah. Someone in the live chat said SOCOM earlier.
Yeah, SOCOM is definitely up there. So
I am really surprised Sony has done nothing with that. To be perfectly honest with you,
I thought I've heard rumors that they're going to show it at E3.
If they do, I lose my mind.
Yeah, I heard that rumor last year, and I'm not going to get burned by it again. I'll wait till they actually. I'll wait till they actually do something with it.
Yeah. Oh, we shall see then. We shall see. So, you know what, guys? I think that's it in terms of topics. Did I miss anything? Eric B, did I miss anything?
Nah, man. I think we covered it all.
Yeah. Well, that went by pretty fast. Hour and a half.
Time flies when you got John on your podcast.
And we appreciate that, John. I mean,
of course,
you took time away from.
You took time away from Shadow of the Colossus, man.
Motherfuckers are lucky too.
I'm not mad at you.
I did not want to be here.
I was gonna give you guilt DMs.
That's fine.
I was gonna spam you with Trump tweets.
Now, I would just say like that one more thing about like Shadows. It's like back in the day playing that game. There's certain games that you just put down the controller, you just go, yeah, that was beyond a game. That was just like an experience.
An experience, yeah. But that's the beauty of gaming, though. That they get those experiences. And
that experience can be different for anybody.
I remember, after I, Edith Finch, I'm like, wow, blown away.
Oh, if anybody out there has not played Edith Finch, you are doing yourself a huge disservice.
Such a good game.
Don't wait for the remaster.
You can finish it. You can finish it in a night. About 2.5 hours. That's a movie. Go play it.
I would recommend. I think you told me this, John, and I did this. But if you can play it in one sitting, do that.
Do it. Do not break that game up. Yep. That's what I did. That is one of the few games that I can count on. I can count on one hand, with less than 5 fingers, how many games and movies in my life have brought me to tears. Edith Finch is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Final Fantasy VII brought me to tears, John.
I can't wait for somebody to say, "Oh, John cried at the game."
Enrique said it was overrated.
Well, Enrique.
All right,
overrated.
I've never said that game was overrated. Stop with that foolishness.
Enrique's mom is overrated.
Oh, come on,
man.
Come on.
I'm just kidding, sort of.
R. Kelly's overrated. There you go. That's overrated.
He's
Eric.
overrated. Doesn't he pee on people?
Oh my gosh, it's another conversation.
What do you guys think Sony's gonna do with the God of War PS4 Pro bundle? Think it's gonna be truly customized?
They'll charge
gonna get another sticker.
It'll be a sticker, dude.
It's gonna be a sticker, man. They're gonna slap Kratos on there.
And if you spend the money on that, then they deserve your money. You don't. You know, a fool and his money are soon parted. So if you buy one of those sticker PS4s, that's on you.
They should just include the stickers and let us decide where we want to put them.
Yeah, I'd put it on my wall.
That's what I said, man. They need to make them like a Happy Meal. You know, you just. I don't know, Pete. I told you, man. I said I needed to be like busted and ugly, so I don't get tempted to buy it. You know.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it is going to be a silver PS4 Pro.
Is it going to be
silver? They showed the controller. Controller silver. So I'm guessing the PS4 Pro is going to be silver.
I think God of War is going to be dope, but I think that PS4 Pro is going to be a waste of money.
Yeah, if it was a cool design, I was going to pick it up just to have a second Pro. But
yeah,
if it's just a sticker, then I can
yeah. B Money, don't do that.
Ryan Landis in the live chat says, when Kratos fights Jesus, I'm in.
Oh, that's controversial.
It's a little sacrilegious. That's very controversial.
Woo! Well, I mean, you know, it's not sacrilegious if you're not a Christian.
That's true. That's true.
If you're a druid like me, you don't care.
It could be amazing though if Jesus bodies him.
Oh my god!
This podcast is going places. Man.
Yes.
I mean, almost every image you see of Jesus, he's like ripped.
Luca's completely silent. Luca's like, "What the fuck am I doing?"
Luca's like, "What the fuck did I just walk into?"
Yo, he might get with Kratos, man. You know.
Oh, he would body Kratos, man. It wouldn't be a fight. It wouldn't be a fight, man.
I mean, he's the son of God.
Right?
Come on.
He's probably got a leg up on Kratos.
Yeah, he's the creator of man, you know, of Earth, or whatever, you know. I mean, yeah, Kratos wouldn't stand a chance.
I think I hold to my belief that they should give Kratos a Christopher Walken voice.
Oh yeah, what would that sound like, John?
They should be like, Zeus, your son has returned. And bring with me the destruction. Do not deny me my revenge, Zeus. I can't fucking take myself.
Oh my god! Somebody just said Jesus gonna put Kratos in the crippler crossface. Oh my god!
I'm telling you, man. It could be dope, man. Like Jesus takes off that wrap and he's tatted up like a Russian mafia guy.
Actually, I will point out there is a very bad PC fighting game that involves. It's like Clash of the Gods, and Jesus is one of the characters.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
No way.
And it was like the Son of God meets, you know, blah blah blah. And I was just like, oh my god, what the fuck am I? Hold on. I'm actually gonna pull it up on YouTube right now, because you guys really have to. And I want to post a link in the chat here.
Put in the live chat. Yeah.
Jesus, and I'll tell you what it actually. Yeah, it's the son of Fight of Gods. Fight of Gods. That's the name. And so I'm looking at so it's like the video from the game says 2,000 years ago. It's got like a cross with the sun rising. He's 2,000 years ago. He saved us all. Oh, where is this going?
Oh my goodness!
Now Jesus is back.
Jesus is back.
He calls upon you to restore faith and spread the message of peace. Oh, and fight. Oh my God! So it's got this. I can't even describe it. It's indescribable. It's like the Son of God, and he like drops from the sky into the arena on the cross, and then he busts off the cross, and he's got like pieces of wood on his hands, and that's what he's punching you with.
What?
Yeah, I mean, you really have to just go to YouTube and look up Fight of Gods Jesus, and I just Do it now. Do it now while you guys are here.
Wait,
Ryan.
Ryan,
do it now.
Ryan Landis in the live chat says, "I bet Jesus gets a jump button."
No, he does. He does. Like what I am looking at right now is completely indescribable. Like I can't even. I can't even. Wow. He just bust off the cross and starts punching Buddha.
This is insane, man.
Do you see it, Enrique? Are you watching it?
What's it called again?
It's called.
No, I'm not watching.
It's called. And he's got like moves where he calls down that like it's called Fight of Gods.
Oh my god! I'll have to check this out later.
Yeah. Go to YouTube and look up Fight of Gods.
I'll check it out later.
Jesus. Wow.
No lie. Like the minute I put in Fight of, that's what popped up.
There's actually Jesus versus Moses gameplay right now.
What?
And yes, Jesus and Moses are in a 2D fighting plane, jumping around and throwing fireballs at each other.
What?
And Moses literally just summoned a flood.
That's insane.
Like I can't even with this shit.
That's
unbelievable.
That's insane.
Wow.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, you know what? Real quick, guys, before we wrap up the show, Surge 2 was announced. And anyone play the Surge? I never played it.
I played about 30 minutes, realized it was a shitty Souls clone, and dropped it.
Yeah, tried to be Souls. It was not Souls, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, and it sounds like Luca had the same reaction. I mean, you fight one or two enemy types the entire game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a cool idea, but you guys know me, I'm a Souls purist, and if you're gonna try to ape that series, you got to do better than the Surge. Neo was a fantastic game. That's a game that did it right. The Surge, yeah, whatever. I just didn't think it was very good. But I'm a huge Souls snob. You guys know that, so
nice.
Maybe I'm just an asshole.
No, not at all.
Okay, come on. You know I'm an asshole.
All right, everyone. So that's number 100 in the books, officially.
Oh, this was episode 100?
Yeah.
And my weak ass was the best you could do for the show? Like, that was it?
Hey, you know what, man? Reggie canceled us last minute.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, Reggie had some important meeting about selling 16 million consoles or something like that.
Something about they were running out of cardboard stock or something. So yeah, he had to address
how well that Switch is doing, man.
Oh, that's B, you called it, man.
Hey, it's only gonna get better, man. It's only gonna get better.
Yep. So, John, are you picking up the Dark Souls remaster on the Switch?
What do you think? I mean, really, Enrique, what do you?
I mean, you do have other consoles. You have a PlayStation 4.
I'm picking it up on PS4 and on Switch. I'm
not going to assume that you're going to get
only the truest of Souls fans will double dip, Enrique, and I am one of those fans. If I want to play Dark Souls. The original Dark Souls is one of my favorite games of all time. I want to play OG Dark Souls in my basement, live it up, and then I immediately want to go play it in my bed. And the only way to do that is to get it on the Switch. Or as I like to call it, the greatest console of this generation.
John said day one, even before the Switch hit, they do a Dark Souls remaster he was in.
Yeah.
No, you guys remember that? I said it. I was like, if a fucking Dark Souls remaster comes to the Switch, you motherfuckers will never see me again. I will disappear into a void. On Switch and Dark Souls. That motherfucker. My Switch will now go wherever I go. Wherever I go, I don't care. I don't care where it is. It's going with
that old doll when we were younger. That My Buddy doll.
Yep.
Yeah. Wherever I go, he goes.
Hey, who's this Justin Lewis guy in the live chat? By the way,
some asshole.
No idea.
Jesus,
he said I won't be back. Kick rocks, man, boys.
Yeah, okay.
I was gonna go to sleep. Now I can't.
Yeah.
Just imagine that guy probably passed up sex with his wife or girlfriend to do this. So I don't know what that says about you, dude. But peace and God bless, man. I hope it was worth it.
All right.
I won't be back. Kick rocks.
This is what I love about this is what I love about fanboys, really. Like, because here's the thing. You know what? I had a bad day today. I didn't have a great day today, right? Like work sucked, a bunch of shit went wrong. I came home, like my leg was hurt all day, and I'm gonna have to get up and do it all over again tomorrow. But you know what? I can brush my teeth at night and look in the mirror and smile and think to myself, I'm not Justin.
Right.
So that's fine. Like I'm not gonna waste time watching a podcast that I clearly don't like and complaining about games that I have no intention of buying. So I'm good.
I'll never understand that mindset.
Bon voyage, I guess.
Kick rocks.
Kick rocks.
No, not even that. I wish Justin nothing but a long and fruitful life.
I won't be back. Me. Kick rocks.
Alone with his unhappiness.
Okay. All right, everyone. So we're gonna wrap up podcast number 100. 100 officially in the books. John, thank you, man, again, and thank you for being a part of our growth. You've been instrumental in that. You have. I didn't. You weren't here when I was giving my thank yous to everyone, so that's why I wanted to say that again. But
you're only thanking me because I'm here now, Enrique. We both know it.
Well, Eric actually just so, but I also want to give a special thanks to Luca for joining us tonight. Luca, hopefully you didn't think we're too crazy and you'll come back and join us again as a guest.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just let me know when. I had a really good time. Sometimes it's just nice to just talk about games and there's no, I don't know, like underlying.
There's no agenda.
Yeah, there's no agenda there, and it's just hearing you guys talk about how much you love the games that you're playing just makes me feel so much better and just reminds me of why I started gaming. Because I got to be perfectly honest, I hate this community. I really do. I hate these people.
You stop
judging by your Twitter feed, Luca, I never would have guessed.
Like I legit, I hate these people. And there's a lot of good people. There is, but like most, I really just, I was thinking about it as I was sitting here. I was like, I really hate these people, So it's just nice to do a show and just talk about gaming and how much I love gaming,
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's what we do here. It's why we started BRAP. Like it, Eric and I, when Eric, you came on BRAP early on, when I don't know, we were like podcast number 20 or something. And we always thought of BRAP as trying to create this safe place, if you will, for people just to get together, no matter what gaming platform you gamed on, where you can just come together and just talk video games.
Yep.
Because that's ultimately just having fun and enjoying games. That's what it's all about. So, but no, Luca, thank you again. It was a pleasure having you on. Really enjoyed it, and definitely have to get you back on sometime again soon as a guest. I'd like to hear your thoughts on Persona 5 actually after you beat it, man. Or I shouldn't say man because you're not a man.
She's not a man.
No, I know, but I'm so used to having men on the show and saying man. So.
Yeah, for sure, definitely.
All right, so
Justin's still going.
Is what?
Justin's still going.
Yeah, he's still going.
Just ignore him.
Yeah, he's just going on and on and on and on and on.
Ignore him.
Yeah.
Justin, listen. No one cares, man. You're irrelevant. You're nothing. Your opinion doesn't matter. Just let it go, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not even reading his things. I'm just like, okay. But I would definitely love to talk Persona 5 with you, Luke, after you beat it, though, because it's such a great game.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Such a great game. And Luca, where can people find you?
Okay, so people can find me at the Ashton Luca on Xbox Live and on Twitter. I have my own channel. I'm hoping to get all of you guys on sometime. I think that we'd have a good time. We mostly just talk about stuff going on in the community, and it's really like chill, And I had like Dealer and Kratos come on, and those guys have gone back and forth a bunch of times. They have different ideologies, and they just had a discussion about their differences, and it was good. It was really good. So, yeah.
Awesome. John, where can people find you?
Well, and in May you'll be able to find me in the toilet playing Dark Souls. But right now, Right now, you can find us on SDGC every Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch. We have begun broadcasting live on Twitch as opposed to YouTube, but we archive all of our podcasts and streams on YouTube as well. Tonight we have two guests, or I'm sorry, tonight, Jesus. Tomorrow we have two guests, Mike Futter, who just wrote a book. He's with Game Informer.
Nice.
And Amanda Farrow, who is an independent journalist and researcher in video games.
Nice.
And Mike Huber from Easy Allies is going to be back on here really soon. And don't forget, we got PAX East coming up. We'll be at PAX East. You can catch me on a few panels there, and we've got a lot more stuff planned that's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, the Twitch channel. The Twitch channel is twitch.tv/official SDGC.
Awesome. Yeah, everyone definitely check these guys out. Great group of guys. No fanboy stuff. They get great guests on and talk about video games. So definitely check them out. B Money, where can people find you, man?
You can currently find me on Xbox or PlayStation at my gamer tag BMoney101. I'm on there playing Monster Hunter on both consoles. So if you want to do some Monster Hunter, jump in there. We can take
definitely this weekend. I'll be jumping in with.
Yeah, man. Definitely let me know. But you can find me on Twitter, same tag, and you can find me every Saturday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Tick Podcast. So that's my home. And this is my second home. So you can find me here or there or pretty much anywhere on the gaming console at my gamer tag. So definitely come through, play some video games, chat.
No doubt. And by the way, we actually do call or refer to B Money as Gamester.
As what?
Gamester.
Gamester.
I like it.
Yeah. Because he's been dead on with all the Nintendo stuff. So
I thought you said games for Dahmer for a minute.
Games for Dahmer, jeez.
That's what I thought you said, man. I was like, that's some weird shit.
Oh my goodness. Eric Jackson, what about you, man? Where can people find you?
Shh. Say good night. My daughter came in. Say good night.
Night.
All right.
Good night.
Yeah, you can find me hanging around Twitter and various game consoles because I kind of play everywhere. And yeah, EC Jackson on Twitter and and here on BRAP on Wednesday nights.
Awesome. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again. Everyone in the live chat, appreciate everyone hopping in and hanging out with us this evening. And hey, again, thank you to everyone, all the guests and community guests that we've had in the past, industry guests, co-hosts, and everyone who supported us over the last 2 years. Big thank you, and looking forward to getting to to make it to another 100 podcasts or so. So we'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, hey, everyone, enjoy the weekend. Have fun gaming. Have a couple drinks, a couple cocktails. Do what you do. And we'll catch you guys next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace. Eric, where's the R. Kelly outro, man?
Let me give you that two.
Oh my God. All right, everyone. We'll catch you next week. Bye-bye.